What's going on, everybody? It's your boy C-Zar, and we are talking about Bitcoin today, BTC USD. It is the 31st day of March, and here we are sitting at about $66,700. Hit that like button, subscribe. Thank you all for being here. We've got about 11 hours left in this day, so let's get into it, all right? We've seen a little bit of volatility. We moved up more or less exactly as expected. I will say it was a little bit faster to get to this point of 68.5K than I thought, but the ultimate target at a minimum was 69K, right? We were saying 69 to 70K, and if I remember correctly, that should be our golden ratio zone. But let me just see here. High to low. No, okay. It's the 382 to the point 0.5. That's right, because we're probably not just going to rip all the way up to the golden ratio in one fell swoop. We'll likely make our move up here, find some resistance, come back down here, and then continue to move up. That's what it is. Okay. So we haven't even interacted with the 382 yet. I do believe that we have further to go. We've seen this type of volatility before. Even with a day that looks like this, we've seen this type of volatility before, right? From this low here, working our way up to this point, we saw some wicked volatility in between, right? And even like here, we pumped all the way up here, and then the next day we were all the way down, and then we moved all the way up here. Bitcoin has been very volatile in this range, and it's really just because we're moving sideways. There's not a lot of volume. It's easy to push the price around. At least that's my assumption. And of course, emotions are running high. Emotions are running very high. They're the highest when we're down here. They're the highest when we're up here. And then any type of fast movements in between get those emotions going as well. I wouldn't be surprised if this low held up. I also wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people were bearish today just because of the way this candle looks. Let's look at the short-term stuff and see what we can come up with. Should we expect lower prices? Should we expect this low to hold? And will we be moving higher as I'm kind of thinking right now? Let's get into it. Okay, so 1 hour time frame. Funky price action. It's like a weird M shape. It is a weird M shape. You had a lot of volume. And I say a lot of volume. It's not like an excessive amount of volume. It's not more than what we've been seeing since Sunday here. Late Sunday, basically right around the time that the day transferred into Monday there. But it was a little bit of volume. It was a little bit more than what we've seen throughout this range. And we didn't really go anywhere. We're just still at these lows. We had a lot of volume come in and we didn't go anywhere. Now we're moving back up. I wouldn't be surprised by the time a lot of you guys wake up or watch this that we are probably moving back up here. Let's see, what are we doing? From a low to a high. We're right at the golden ratio. And I'm taking this high, not this high because that's the fake out high. I like to take the original high, not the fake out high. I mean, it's okay to take the fake out high. You know, if you do that, we've got the golden ratio support there as well. I like to take the original high, though. That's just how it is for me. I think that 236 looks more respectable, right? 70 or 67.4K. When we get above 67.4K, that validates this as a low. We move up. Bitcoin's messing with you guys. Look at what it's doing, right? As soon as you get a higher high, boom, that's when we sell off. As soon as you get a lower low, well, we're probably going to go up. And it was the same thing back here. As soon as we got that lower low, that's whenever we moved upwards. So it's just messing with us. It's having fun. That's all it is. Being volatile in this very tight range. 1 hour time frame, the RSI is somewhat neutral. I mean, definitely volatile. You're volatile in the RSI anytime you ping pong between the oversold and the overbought zone like this. Like this is extreme movements, right? Typically the RSI doesn't do that. If it does do that, those are in moments of volatility. But typically you're kind of in a channel down, ranging somewhere, working your way down in a more methodical approach rather than just bouncing around between the whole range itself. Anyways, expressing volatility on the RSI, we're at the oversold areas where we found support, so I would assume that we do move up. The stochastics have reset themselves in the MACD. The MACD is probably not going to be reliable on this, but if it is, I mean, lining up with these things, it does look kind of bullish here. I would expect that we get some continuation to the upside, but I'm not going to weigh in on that too much because, again, we're choppy and sideways on the 1 hour. It's not going to be that reliable. The 4 hour time frame here, the RSI, it's a bit more complex, but not too complex. I don't know, right? Like you broke out of this downward sloping trend, but you still have lower highs. It still could be some type of downward sloping trend. You're in this neutral position here with your RSI in an overall bearish environment. Neutral position in the price in an overall bearish environment. Anything could happen. I mean, we could go lower. It's not impossible. It's not my call. I'm calling for this to be the low. If we go lower and then we make the move up, okay, fine. But again, I don't think that if we did go lower that it would be any dramatic effect. Low to high here, we were right in the golden ratio. So if we were to go lower, if we start getting 4-hour candles to close below 65.6K, not if we get below 65.6K, though that might be incriminating in itself. If we get a 4-hour candle to close below 65.6K, we likely will go down to 63 to 61.6K. If we close a 4-hour candle, and let's say 2 4-hour candles, below 65.67K, right there, if we close below that on a 4-hour basis, we likely will go to 63 to 61.6K, okay? Until then, I maintain the stance that this is the low and that we're going to be moving up probably somewhere between $69,000 and $70,000, if not higher. I don't think from here that we're just going to full send like we did here up to these levels. I don't think that we're going to move up and see a higher high from here. I think it's going to be more fought for. We're probably going to see some more volatility building up to this point, and then maybe later this month we can see that higher high come in. We might even get up here, get above this high, get below this high here, and then come back down and see a lower low before working our way up. You know, it's hard to say at this point in time, but for right now, I'm taking the bullish stance. I think that we will move up. Rather neutral, rather choppy. It's kind of hard to say, but that's just what my gut's telling me, and that's, that's what I'm going to run with here. The stochastics are at a point where you might expect them to bounce. We've seen it happen before in this area. And again, this low point here, it reminds me of all these other low points, really. It reminds me of this low point here, reminds me of this low point here, it reminds me of this low point here and this low point here, right? Every single time at these lows, there was some new development with Iran and Israel and the United States, and or at least here there was a new development. Here there's been a lot of rumors, right? Each time here at all these points, the arrow was the beginning of the conflict. Okay, so that was real, but all of these instances have one thing in common: they're gonna put boots on the ground. It's gonna get worse. The Iran war is gonna send the price of oil up, and Bitcoin's gonna tank. All that rhetoric comes out at the lows. And then once we get up to the highs, everybody says the same thing. They say, not the same thing as the lows, but they all say the same thing together. They all say, the war doesn't really matter. And then it's like, down here it matters a lot. Up here it doesn't really matter. Really, it's just playing on your emotions. So I feel like we're in that emotional, super Iran heavy war fear right now. Just because I feel like that doesn't mean that we can't move lower. Sure, we can, but if we do move lower, I doubt it's by much. It'll only cause more panic, more fear, more emotions, and then we're going to move back up. It's not really much to be concerned with one way or another. Not that the Iran war isn't much to be concerned with. Again, I feel like I have to, for the sensitive people out there, I have to reiterate. Obviously, war is bad. Obviously, death is bad. Right? It's not something that anybody should condone. But as far as the price action is concerned, it doesn't really seem to matter. That's all. So when I say it doesn't matter, because we're doing a TA video on Bitcoin, talking about Bitcoin and the price action, it should be fairly obvious if you have a base level of understanding English that I'm talking about the price. It doesn't matter for the price. That's all. Okay? It's not that it doesn't matter on a moral perspective. All right? Or on a humanitarian perspective. 66.7K. The MACD is somewhat, it's got the bullish prospects here, but you're just like not doing anything. You're choppy and sideways. It's not going to help us out. Daily time frame at the 40 level, lower lows in the RSI. We do have lower lows in the price. It's neutral. You're at the bearish area right now, but I would expect we move up. Stochastics look like they've reset themselves. You're probably ready to get out of the oversold zone. That should cause some price growth. And the MACD on the daily time frame is rejecting the 0 level. We're coming down. But, I mean, this rejection is pretty modest, I guess. It could promote more decay. It could. The MACD is dying off in its bearish momentum right here. Built some right here, but it is dying off. We'll see what happens. I mean, we're at a point where we're either going to further this, and that would actually be probably very detrimental to the price, or we're about to cross above the zero, and that could give us a little bit of a push up here, again to that, I think, 69, 70K area, maybe even higher. Maybe I should be more bullish. I just don't think, from a high to a low here, I don't think that we're going to make one fell swoop all the way up to the golden ratio or higher. We can. It can happen. Even here, it looks like it just happened in one fell swoop, right? But that's not necessarily the whole story. From a high to a low here, golden ratio, you found resistance, right? We look at this on the 4-hour time frame. You found resistance here, you came back down. You found resistance here, you came back down. And then you finally made your way up here, right? It wasn't just one fell swoop. But that did take about a week. That was our 8 days of green in a row, you guys remember. And then on the 9th day we dropped. I guess we pumped and then we dropped. We could see, over the next week or two, price action grow to this area. But I bet we would find resistance somewhere in here, pull back to these levels, find support, go up to the golden ratio, find resistance, pull back to these levels, find support, and it'll be a more methodical process than just one fell swoop, one crazy pump like this in a day. Anything could happen. But that's the expectation overall. So I don't really have anything else I want to say. I don't think it would be that bad if this week closed red. I don't think it'd be that bad if we went lower. Because if we close below this level here this week, over the next 5 days and 11 hours, we're going to have bullish divergence on the weekly RSI, on the stochastics, and on the MACD, where we don't actually have bullish divergence on the RSI yet. We do on the other two. And who knows, that could get us set up for something bigger, Anyways, I got nothing else for you guys. I think we're moving up from here. But really, we're not doing much, right? One way or another, even if I'm wrong and we do go lower here, we're not doing much. Even if I'm right and we go up here, we're not doing much. We're just moving sideways in this range until May or June. That's likely what's going to happen, okay? Take care. See you on the next one. Hit that like button. Subscribe. Bye-bye.